Hello, you are watching News 9 Digital's Facebook Live with me, Amrita, and now we will be discussing about the India-China updates and what are the latest developments in this arena. As we know, there was a fresh standoff once again at the southern bank of Pangong Tso, and amidst this, there are different ways that are being explored to bring India out of the stalemate with China at the LAC. Now, one such method is the External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar is all set to meet his counterpart Wang Yi in Moscow for bilateral talks. Just a few days earlier as well, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had met his counterpart as well. So whether these diplomatic and political channels of talks are going to work or not remains to be seen. But what are India's options to come out of the stalemate is the biggest question that remains unanswered. To speak more about this, I am joined on the phone line by Brigadier Monappa. Thank you, sir, for joining us on this brief live. And first of all, my first question to you is about your opinion on the latest developments on the India-China standoff.
Yeah, no, last month in an interview,
Yes.
your channel had given the reason of behavioral pattern in the futility of the commanders.
Yes.
It actually they can get them, they can the political situation seems to be and stands between the president and China. Second thing is China is having open 7 fronts, including in the South China Sea. Then
Yes.
thirdly, I mentioned about the volunteer army, where there are 4-year conscription and the one-child policy, their pampered children and their incapable at all. And the rest of the world, nobody is there for Iran, Pakistan and North Korea with them. No, and the COVID situation being what it is, and it is an untested army. You see, Indian army has been tested in 1948, 62, 1971, 99, and in all sort of warfare, winter warfare, mountain warfare, jungle warfare, desert warfare, and insurgency counterinsurgency. They're a sharp army. So that's the backdrop I would like the viewers to keep in mind when to link the present situation in Pangong Tso. Now, what has happened is, what the nation needs to know right now is these couple of talks which has happened at all levels. We have been talking to China for past 30 years. It's not the first or the last talk.
True.
But the futility of the talk, unfortunately, is they were so much accustomed to the laid-back position of the country because of certain wrong policies and without the proper backing, the army which was found wanting. Today things have changed a lot. Now, what we have to see is now we have completely covered the heights in the Pangong Tso Lake. There are around about 8 hilltop positions, what we have taken like the black top, helmet top, and all over Chushul, which are dominating the Spangur Gap.
Okay.
Now, what the viewers need to know is this Spangur Gap, which is a traditional military route, I would call it, because in 1881, General Zorawar Singh invaded and made a base camp at Mansarovar by this route only. And thereafter, Maharaja Gulab Singh also utilized the route again within another 10 years when the Chinese launched a counterattack. Unfortunately, this is not part of our history and not well recorded. That being so, now the whole Spangur, any invasion which has to come through the Chushul sector has to develop through that plateau only, and that roads are totally dominated. So that is the first tactical position as on China situation is concerned. Now let's come talk to Mr. Jaishankar's talk with his Chinese counterpart.
Yes.
I don't visualize anything coming to fruition here because China's main problem has been they themselves cannot command theaters. And what I begin to understand, the latest situation is they themselves are also not, their action is dependent on the eastern debate. That being the situation, because they are under independent army commanders. So
Alright.
we cannot, at this stage, what we have to see is how the talks will go. Talks are likely to be of in nature. Nothing going to come out of this. So right now, the advantage, we are enjoying a major advantage, and definitely China is totally rattled off. To cap it all, now we managed to dominate this area and build up our forces and the defenses within 24 hours to 48 hours. That is starting from 29th of August till 30th evening, they were in position. And these have been taken into position by these Venkatji, these Vikas SFF groups, originally the Tibetan thing, which has been, we have utilized them, Ladakh Scouts and ITBP, all who are very seasoned people, and later on buttressed by the Indian Army.
Okay.
And now the Air Force is in full swing and they are making the sorties. So now China's options, there are two options. One, as I see, they are likely to open up new fronts in Arunachal Pradesh. Now Arunachal Pradesh, what you call that erstwhile Nepal, has got 38 sensitive passes, 38 passes across, one of them sensitive passes which are not covered during winter also. And they have been usually coming inside our territory for past 30, 40 years, leaving telltale signs, patrols, claiming it that area or so. So the activity is likely to continue there more. And since they are already rattled in the Chushul sector, they know that they cannot have a go there. So it is likely that they are trying to show their hands in Wangan sectors and open the front, enlarge the position of the front. Now the situation is India has got two choices. One is, if this stalemate may continue till the passes close and nothing is going to. The option India has got is at certain places, I think a time has come now, and I won't be surprised if that happens. We have to now go to certain new grounds where if they are not being occupied prior to winter, we should, not only in Chushul but in Arunachal Pradesh and Wangdang sector, we need to open new fronts, occupied higher grounds and dominate the area. And they being a not time-tested and weak army, I don't think they can do much about it. And the stalemate may continue, and the only thing is they'll manage us to bleed us to the extent of war of attrition, because deployment of such a force which is in situ present obtaining on the ground is going to be a very costly affair for India. And that could be their aim to beat us economically also. That is my assessment. But nothing is going to happen in the foreseeable future.
Also, Brigadier, a very good points made there that, winter is also coming soon, and that's why India may also have to take over the higher altitude regions so that it has an advantage. To go back on what you said, once again, you said that Indian Army is no more laid back, and is this is what is making China react, or was it always this way?
No, I tell you, the reaction this time has been definitely more. The trigger off point has been the abolition of Article 370 in J&K. You see, this is going to give a very big setback to them, because the statement has been made at that period of time in Parliament saying that we are going to take back the POK. Now, the implication of this is it has got geostrategical, geo-religious, geopolitical and geo-economical. So J&K, in the overall context, the area of Aksai does not loom so large in the world map, but it is very, very important, because that is the area under which the Karakoram highway is passing, and that is exactly the reason in 1986 onwards we had Operation Meghdoot, and we started dominating the heights in the Sechin Glacier, much before the Pakistanis. So this area gives depth to the Karakoram highway, which eventually leads to the CPEC corridor. So the belt program and everything comes under cloud the moment India has shown its teeth and bared its teeth in the Parliament when the Home Minister made a statement, and followed by the Defense Minister later on. They came to know that it's not going to be the same. So they have got to face a tough enemy and a resistant enemy. And this has been going on now. I don't call it anywhere a Cold War. This is a on-war period. The new terminologies may be introduced. in the strategical analysis, it's like a warm war, where now there will be some shots fired. I won't be very surprised, and that's unfortunately we had a casualty with the ITBP or SFF person there. So this is going to, what my worry is, in Nepal nothing is going to happen because the terrain does not pick them. But all the rest of the terrain, all over the, I won't call it anymore China. I'm talking about, let's talk about Tibet, because that's a Tibet autonomous region.
Okay.
And because of this SFF and the Tibetans joining, it has given a lot of impetus. So they're suitably rattled off. And besides anything else, they know it is not the olden India also, because remember one thing, armies don't fight war. It is the nation which fights the war. And despite the best efforts of our adversaries and our enemies within, the nation is very much united, and the nation is also prepared to face two enemies. That is, when anything happens, you know that Pakistan is a proxy, and definitely they will be also carrying the more activities which they already started. And all these will continue till I foresee till the second week of November, when the passes in Kashmir also start closing, and in the Ladakh sector as also in the Nepal sector. In Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
So till that time, having known that we are ready for this one, and remember one thing, a bully is a bully till he comes across another bully.
Okay.
Now they know one thing, that India, we are going to be proactive and I won't be very surprised if they have made a plan at various tactical levels, duly coordinated, to dominate heights which are not occupied them. And we have got the greatest advantage we have is that we are dominating everywhere. And remember, if at all anything blows up, the ratio in a mountainous terrain is not 1:3, like a normal, in parlance what happens. It comes to nearly 1:10. And that much of deployability is not there for the Chinese army, because already they are faced with, they're distracted from Australia, Japan, Vietnam, and, South China Sea. Name a place they have opened a front. And surely they are not all that insensible to open such a front. That means if at all they have to do something against India, they are waiting for India's being slightly more aggressive and offensive, then something may happen. Otherwise, the stalemate is likely to continue.
Okay, Brigadier, like you rightly said, some parts may become inaccessible soon, and this might also have an impact on the current stalemate situation. But going back to what Jaishankar has said recently with regards to the conflict, he has said that it's very serious and there is a requirement for very, very deep conversations at the highest level. So when Jaishankar mentions highest level, is there a possibility of talks between the Prime Minister and the Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping?
See, you we'll always have to ultimately, I am talking from the strategical point of view. When Mr. Jaishankar speaks, they are encompassing four other issues and economical issues and geopolitical issues. They will always, they'll be tracked to diplomacy also, and diplomatic ways are the best ways. But so far what has happened right from after the debacle in 1962, we have never seen any talks coming to fruition. Even if it is done at, if you recollect, when Xi Jinping visited India and then he was in Ahmedabad, that was the time this standoff in Bhutan later started, isn't it? So they've got a typical way of when their own country chief is visiting, they create a problem for us. So now that you see this possibly would have yielded some fruits if we had not taken this offensive posture. I won't say it's an offensive posture, but a tough posture against them and dominated the heights. Okay. Now there is no going back for them, because then it is going to be humiliating for them. You see, to go back to anti, don't visualize that. So the talks are, even at a PM's level also, the same thing will continue, the same story at commander, brigade commander and corps commander level. Repeatedly, twice or thrice we had the talk. So they are going to repeat the same. Because they can't have, they have no face to, the president has no face to show to his Chinese Communist CCP. So I don't really visualize much happening there. But then the efforts are going to be there, and that is part of the diplomacy and the part of the normal procedures, laid out procedure.
Okay.
But all these, by the time happens, there will be onset of monsoon. Then they themselves will have an excuse not to have very many too much of movements. But the problem is going for us, while we have taken a stand to maintain such a large force at that level and in all the dominating heights, it's going to be a very, very costly affair. And I think we are going to, the whole country as a whole, most of us, country has to tighten its belt economically.
All right.
Coupled with what has happened with COVID. So that's the way I'm looking at it. But I'm not, and nothing to worry about it. I mean, we have, if push comes to shove, we are capable of doing that. And the army is prepared. People know about it. The country is with us. Most of our otherwise well-wishers are there, also there. How to what extent Russia and China will come to our aid is another matter altogether. But we, in this game, we are alone.
Okay.
Don't anticipate anyone to come to your rescue, and we are capable of defending ourselves.
Right.
So therefore, they are also not going to withdraw any talks or anything.
Yes.
Do you expect them to withdraw to the status quo ante? I don't think so, because it's lots of space for them. So they are going to be where it is, and let's see how the talks progresses. But nothing is likely to come out. I'm being slightly pessimistic about that.
All right. Thank you so much, Brigadier, for giving us your assessment of the current developments happening at India-China standoff. And Brigadier says he doesn't see much coming out of the political or diplomatic talks, and at the end of the day, it needs to be solved on the ground by the Indian Army and the Chinese PLA and the Corps Commander talks as well. So that's the latest assessment that is available on the India-China development, and more such updates will be bringing back to you. So stay tuned. Also, leave your opinion in the comment section. Like, share and subscribe to News 9 Digital.